DNVR Broncos Live, coming to you from Studio X, where the X stands for extraordinary.
For the 5th time.
I mean, how many more options do I really have?
Yeah, it's getting extra hard.
It is getting extra hard. We should have Studio A back soon, so I can get back to mixing it up. Extraordinary, because today's an extraordinary day, boys. We got a submission for the new intro song.
Oh, another one. Let's go.
We got to see what the people think of this one. Kale, cue up Tyler Lee and the Ragers. Oh, I didn't know we were going to be on camera for this. It's awkward.
It is a little awkward.
You got a jam?
Yeah, let's do that. There we go.
DNVR is the spine. Get breakfast, let's ride and watch our Zac and then Henry. Covering all the old Broncos news. 3 Super Bowl wins. Let's pump those numbers up. This one's for John, this one's for Pat. Will the next one be for us? The NVR is the spot. The best content at the top. The NVR is the spot. May the Broncos win. The
That goes.
Woo! Oh,
Yeah.
That
I mean,
bangs.
it lived up to the name,
Yes.
the Ragers. I love it.
Mhm. Pretty easily the leader in the clubhouse, I think.
Yeah, I feel like our hair's too short for that song.
Definitely.
yeah.
Yep.
It's okay, though. That was badass. Shout out Tyler Lee and the Ragers for the submission. Going in the shuffle. I mean, it's in the mix.
It is in the mix.
It's absolutely in the mix. Again, if you are a local Colorado band or just a small band or a big band, I guess. If you're a band of any size, shape, or form and you want to send us something, we love all the submissions. It's so cool to see you guys, some of your talents, and we like to promote them.
It's so cool. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Tyler.
Yes. All right. I wanted to start with something else. Oh, just like housekeeping notes. If you guys have anything too, you can throw it in. Plans coming together for London.
Ooh.
I think that I was saying this on the Bet Show right before this. That I'm like full football mode now. Like I can't turn around. I'm just all I can think about is football.
Yep.
And this was like one of the things that I think sent me over the edge. Is just like had a meeting last week about just the plan for London, and it's pretty much all formed right now. So it's just like putting it into motion and going. And it is going to be sick.
Well, I mean, you can't just leave us hanging like
yeah.
that. We need details. Start, first day, first hour. Let's go.
I can't. But it'll be out soon. It should be out soon.
When do me and Zac get to know?
It's a very good question, Henry. We got to wait for the public to know, I guess.
yeah.
I can just tell you after the show.
Just show up in London. We'll see what happens.
Well, that'll do it for the podcast today.
But yeah, so basically we're going to try to have like ways for people to meet up with us starting on Tuesday. Every day, like we're going to record our show somewhere. But big events on Friday, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and of course Sunday before the game.
Ooh, I love it. 2 events on Saturday.
Yeah, doubleheader.
Wow.
Maybe you call it double decker.
Are we going to ride one of those buses?
We'll see.
Podcast from a double-decker bus?
Oh,
Wow.
That doesn't sound like
I know.
the plans.
They didn't even ask for our good ideas in the
No.
meeting, so we're just going to come up with good stuff. And
Nope.
You guys can chime in whenever you want.
double-decker bus pod.
I have to like. You guys are like doing interviews and stuff. You know, I'm doing meetings about London.
There we go.
Everyone has their role here.
And we tell you our information. You don't tell us your information.
Also true.
You guys don't actually
Yeah.
like tell me your information.
AJ
Sometimes it
Jones
works
had a
its
kid.
way into the content, just like mine did.
That's true. That's true. That's impressive. That's impressive. I also have some house cleaning. Do you have more house cleaning?
No, my house looks pretty clean.
My house is, well, it's about to be in shambles potentially.
Uh-oh.
What is this?
Did you leave the gas on?
What is this? Z-O.
Oh.
Heard whispers of it at the end of last week. Made its way to Twitter today.
Yep.
And piecing things together. Something started on the bet show.
Yep.
And it involves Tio.
Yes.
And that's as far as I'm going to let my head go without just hearing the truth.
I honestly don't remember the exact origin. We'll probably have to go find that show to do it. But it was something about how we were running out of time on the bet show.
Yep.
And how the diva Zac is going to come in and just be pissed if we go overtime. So, and then that somehow spun it. Like, I think Dre was like, yeah, like Zac's just like your classic diva receiver, like T.O.
Yep.
And then we're like, yeah, he's just doing crunches on his driveway, like doing press conferences.
You know, I thought I was gonna be, it was gonna be offensive, but if it's T.O. and I'm that great and that ripped, that much in shape, getting that much
sounds like
attention,
something T.O. would say.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I stamp my approval on it.
Yeah, that tweet of you today was perfect. Perfect for T.O. content. Did Henry take that pic?
No, that was RG.
Yeah,
not Randy Gregory, as was a little mishap again today at practice.
Oh, it happened again.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
I think it was one of those DBs. Might have been Simmons who turned around and was like, "Yo, RG, what's up?" And RG turned, but
please tell me he didn't respond.
No.
Thank God.
One of these times he's going to.
That would have been so embarrassing.
It would have been.
It's like when someone's like waves to you and you wave and they're waving to the person behind you. You're like,
And you go for the like, just scratching my head.
yeah, Zac's actually not a diva, but it's fun to pretend that he is.
Yeah, it is fun.
How was that with Alexis today?
It was good. We wore matching outfits pretty much.
She was wearing like a olive floral.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, except she was doing more of the checkered, so like a picnic cloth, and I was doing the olive floral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that a respectful term for that pattern?
A picnic cloth? I mean, that's what it is.
Is that like would somebody if they were wearing it be like, don't call it that?
If this is olive
Would
floral,
you just call it plaid?
It's not really a plaid though.
Honestly,
so what
I
is
didn't
it,
see.
Henry? What is it?
It's one thing that I couldn't see from
I don't know.
It
checkered.
Sort of. Yeah, you would call it checkered. Would you?
Yeah, exactly. A checkered.
When I think of checker, I think of like a checkerboard.
So you guys are just on the olive vibes.
Yeah, we were on the olive vibes, and right when we started, I didn't know we were going to air when we started, and her cameraman, like maybe 2 seconds before she started talking, I thought she was just giving a practice start. Goes your hair to Alexis, and so she like fixes it but didn't really fix it, so there was one piece left, and so she's talking again, thought we were just doing a practice thing, and so I fix her hair, her piece of hair, and then like 5 seconds later I'm like, oh F, we're live right now.
No.
But so the whole time I'm just like, geez, I cannot believe I just did that, and I'm rolling through, talking.
You're fighting the internal like.
Oh my God,
pain.
just so embarrassed.
That's awful.
And then at the end, after we finish, I find out that there was a graphic over her during that time, so I was fine.
That's the worst news I've literally ever heard.
I know. I was all excited to search
I
it.
was literally going to be like, Kale, you have one job the rest of the show, and it's to get this footage.
I was mortified.
Oh my God. That's rough because it probably messed up your performance.
It did. It definitely did. Yep. Because about, like I said, 5 seconds after, just horrified. And I'm like, oh no, there's no backing down. I'm on air right now.
Yep. That is rough. Like sometimes I'll get like a text that's just so distracting, like something big or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, there goes that segment.
Not listening to you guys right now.
Exactly. Any housekeeping for you, Henry?
Bought
People
new
love when we do
sunscreen
this.
today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
bought new.
I decided. Yeah, here, this old one I've been using. There's just like you can never tell how many squirts are left, and so at some point you just like it's just not going to be there.
Henry, are you still using the kids' sunscreen?
I mean, not starting tomorrow. Tomorrow I've got a new one.
That is kids.
Yeah, I think that means you can get it in your eye though, which is cool. But I got that. There's like this new kind that everybody has now. It's like brown and yellow.
Yes,
it has
the
a monkey on it. Yeah.
Sunbum?
That could be it. That could be it. I haven't really read it, but I saw that and I was like, well, everybody seems to have that sunscreen now, so I got some.
Honestly,
you're
that's
a
a
cool kid.
great way to shop. Like if you see something, you're like, everyone has this.
Yeah.
Most times it's good.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
true. And I think their slogan is something like, the bum makes it better. or
Really?
something like that. Yeah, so
Wow.
fun little slogan.
Nice. That
I
is
do
fun.
like that.
Yeah.
They're edgy.
Shout out to Sunbum, and let's take this out of
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah.
No free
until they
advertising.
finish.
Everyone
But
knows
if they
I'm a
want to advertise, I will wear their sunscreen.
Everyone knows
Yeah.
I'm a copper tone man.
Everyone
Because
does.
Look, you're
Look,
copper.
my copper
right now.
tone,
Yeah.
No, I'm a bum.
But is it squirts of sunscreen?
I don't know. I didn't like that.
Dude, listen to this sound it makes.
All right,
though.
we're about to like hit our limit where people start getting mad
okay.
that we're not talking about the Broncos.
I got some.
So the Broncos, a
Yes.
sports team based out of Denver, Colorado,
Yeah.
had a practice today, and it was boring, but for kind of good reason. Like if it's gonna be boring, at least have it be because the defense was balling.
Yes, and they were right out of the gate. So last week.
Let me stop you though.
Okay.
All three of us, actually four, I'll throw in RG who was there.
Yeah.
Very, very in agreement that the defense won the day. Like, no, I didn't even make. Usually, I'm like the offense guy. Like, if we had a team, I'd probably be the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I didn't even try to say like, well, there was that.
Right.
No, it was just defense won today, easy peasy, game over. And not everyone agrees with that. In fact, I saw our friend Benjamin Albright say the offense has won 4 days in a row, including today. And I just personally have no idea how you can make that case today.
I completely agree.
And that's not like a shot at Ben or anything.
No,
I'm sure
no,
he
no,
has
no,
a reason
no.
why he feels that way. But like from my eyes, which by the way, the best view in the house, there was nothing like that you could hang your hat on today for the offense.
The one I kind of go back to is just that last play where obviously hit Courtland Sutton down the sideline, big gainer, jumps over Darby, all that. Because it was a little bit reminiscent of the jump ball. Was that like day 2, day 3, something between Courtland Sutton and Pat Surtain, where it's like, okay, in that one, that definitely was a tiebreaker. But the difference was obviously the offense was in better shape up to that point in practice. So I wonder if there was like a similar vibe there where it's like, here's this last play, the jump ball, maybe that's what they're doing.
But it wasn't close.
No.
Look, Malik Reed started off the day with a sack on Calvin Anderson. 2 pass plays later, Malik Reed, instead of going around Calvin like he did on the first sack, he bull rushed Calvin Anderson into a sack, which is scary because Malik Reed's the most undersized outside linebacker you have.
You don't want to get bull rushed by Malik Reed.
No. So, and you don't have Billy Turner that you can put in. You don't have Tom Compton you can put in. They have not been rotating Ben Braden in there. So that's a scary sight. Then there were 2 more plays in the first 5 passing attempts of practice. One, I think, was a sack. I think Jonas Griffith got there and would have got Russ in a game. And the other one was a close sack. Wasn't as comfortable calling it a sack. And the 5th passing play of those first 5 was a little dump off to Javonte, where Javonte did a great job tipping a high pass to himself for probably what would have been a gain of 7 or 10 yards or something. But in the first 5 passing plays of the day, you had 2 definite sacks. I really think a 3rd sack and potentially a 4th sack. That's how the day started. You got to be great to overcome that.
Yeah, and I kind of said it when we were leaving practice, like, well, let's pull up the rideometer if we can.
Yep.
And I'll explain the conversation we had because I'm not low on Russell Wilson's performance today per se. But you got to give a score to it in the same way that like you have to have a passer rating at the end of a game. Like you get scored regardless of whether you had help or not. And so for us today, are we ready? Yep.
Let's go, Russ.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right.
So for us today, it was the lowest it's ever been.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really Russ's fault. Pressure in his face all day. Not a lot of help from the receivers. In fact, 1 catch from a receiver today. It was Courtland Sutton on the very last play of practice.
Wow. I mean, think about that. Yes, you don't have Tim Patrick, but Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton, up until the very last play, 0 catches.
And again, I've been high on Jerry this camp, but I was at camp. And if you had said right after camp, like, and Jerry Jeudy missed today, I would have been like, yeah, that's right. Wait, no, I think I saw him out there. You know what I mean? Like,
right, yeah.
invisible.
Yep.
Courtland Sutton, invisible for most of the practice. All of those, tertiary receivers that we've talked about beyond those guys, no one showed up.
Nope.
At least in the first team offense. I know Jalen Virgil had a sweet catch up the sideline. But it was crazy to think back after practice. Sometimes when you're in the middle of the practice, you don't really think of it.
Yeah.
And then you think after, like you mentioned it, so you were thinking of it, I guess. But I was like, yep, Andrew Beck, Alberto, Javante, Melvin. No, those were all the plays.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but there really were no plays by wide receivers today.
No, I mean, and this could actually still be the case now, but about 2/3 of the way through practice, Eric Tomlinson.
Let's go, the alien,
Ryan's
baby.
the only person who knows who he is.
I love him.
Was the leading receiver on this team he was 2 for 2. He had 2 catches coming out of the flat from Russell Wilson.
Yep.
That is like, wow, good for him. Wait, that's bad news for the offense. This guy had more catches today in practice than he had all of last year.
I have so many nicknames for him. Like
Well,
today,
hit me with them.
like today when after he caught the ball and was running, like I just saw his mane flapping in the wind, and I was like, oh my God, that's the Clydesdale.
Oh,
Or like
okay.
just the horse.
Yeah, I like, and his hair does look like that kind of thicker, coarse hair.
He's just got the beautiful blonde
Yeah,
locks coming
yeah,
out the
yeah.
back. Once he gets moving, like he kind of is galloping out there.
I mean, defenders jump on his back to try to take him down, and he still is plowing ahead.
yeah, he's just trotting. So yeah, every time he does something, I'm like, oh, new nickname.
I love it.
So he's the alien, the mountain, and the horse, aka the Clydesdale.
Is it both, or can we just do the Clydesdale?
Well, it's
Clydesdale's
weird
a pretty cool
it's weird to bring in a new type of horse onto the Broncos, but he can't be the Bronco.
No.
Not as the third string tight end.
Yeah. Well,
Today he was number 1.
Yeah, might be number 5.
I kind of just like the horse.
Yeah, I can go with that. I think it
Also
fits
the
even
alien
better than
fit-
the alien.
I mean, but he's like alien-sized, E.T.
No, aliens are small.
Yeah.
No,
That was wrong.
Yes, they are.
Alien versus Predator.
You're cherry picking aliens.
Give me the alien that you're talking about, Marvin the Martian.
Yes, for
Sure.
one.
Why did I give you one?
E.T. Like the Roswell alien. They're all just a couple feet off the ground. None of them are that big.
They're skinny.
Yes,
I feel
they're
like-
green.
I feel like as a society, we are underestimating aliens. The same way that we overestimate dinosaurs.
There's only one way to find out. You think we overestimate dinosaurs?
I just feel like we're just guessing.
Except the bones that are found.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
yeah.
they've just been growing underground this whole time. Maybe
That
bones
could be
grow
the
over
truth.
millions
Think
of
about what
years.
happens when bones take in water.
Oh.
Probably
Expansion.
Or
Do
milk.
Or
Just
milk.
watering them with milk.
Yeah.
I'm mostly kidding, but I do feel like what led us to thinking that aliens were smaller than us?
What led us to this conversation?
The alien himself.
Oh, him, yes.
Well, see, and that's his nickname.
It's because they're flying around on things, and typically you would think things can't fly with heavy things in them, even though that's not the case.
We're putting tons of Americans in planes every single day.
It doesn't make sense. But then,
That's true.
but then they're teleported up.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing that.
I
Well,
think
they can
aliens
just-
are small.
They can vaporize themselves and teleport.
Oh.
Aliens are definitely small.
I think they're
Let
huge.
us know in the comment section. Aliens, small or big?
I mean, well, we don't have to get too much into this. Anyways, we can call him the horse if you want.
No.
Okay, we don't have to.
The alien.
He doesn't want to move on from this conversation.
But yeah, the offense really struggled and just struggled to get anything going, get anyone open. And I thought maybe if I could make an excuse for them as the offensive coordinator of the podcast, I thought if you take the pads off, maybe it's a disadvantage for the offensive line because the offensive line got work today. And that was the single biggest problem. I mean, I was just thinking, like, what happened between the last 2 practices and today? The biggest variable would be pads were off. Now, when I say pads are off, it's mostly just like the pants.
Yeah.
But
The pants were off.
yeah, they took their pants off and away went their powers.
And that scares offensive linemen.
But it just that's the only thing I could come to. Like they were holding up pretty well the last few days, and today they couldn't stop anyone. And there was just pressure in Russ's face. Even like some of the big plays he did have, it was like, well, did that really count?
Yeah.
Like Alberto had a catch on Pat Surtain which I would have been like, that's the first catch on Pat Surtain. That's not Jerry Jeudy, but it was a sack.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, and that's how today went. It was Russ having to find his dump-offs, whether that was Eric Tomlinson, whether it's Andrew Beck, whether it's Alberto, whether it's Javonte Williams. I mean, those are the guys that caught the passes today. And so, like you said, Ryan, it wasn't all Russ's fault, but Russ was not able to overcome all of those things. So really, it was just a really poor offensive day. And you hope that when they have pads on tomorrow, that the offense is able to bounce back, because the offense was finally picking up steam, and there was also reason for it behind it. It was the install had just ended. And so it's like, okay, now they have all the things. They're not working on things. Now they're just building and picking up from where they were. And so it was like, okay, this is really good. The offense was struggling because they were learning new things. Then they start doing really well. It's because they have everything that they need. And now you see a little hiccup, but you're going to have that. You just hope that it's a strong response in the next day or two.
Yeah, and I think Nathaniel Hackett brought up after practice that did you even ask this question? It was the first day back after the off day?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said, the offense responded a little bit better this time than they did after the last off day, but obviously still wasn't where you needed it to be. And I thought maybe
And he said something specifically about how the defense brought it today.
Oh, absolutely.
So that should show you who he thought won.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly. And he said the offense needs to match that.
Yep.
It is kind of weird that offense struggles coming out of off days.
It
with
is.
energy.
It is, but that does seem like a thing that's happened. And I mean, you can't just excuse it, but I don't think you're going to see that same issue on game days. It's just potentially it's the thing that happens with them.
I said that, though.
Man.
I've said that before in the Vic Fangio era, and they came out flat like every week.
They just said it over and over and over. What needs to change this week? And Pat Sherman would stand up there and say, well, we got to start faster. Yeah, no duh. Wait, you got to start faster. How are you going to do that?
Yeah, it's like the old saying, you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
That's true.
You can't have a great game unless you start at the beginning of it.
It's very true.
And we saw a little bit of a different start to practice, too.
Yeah, it was different.
Before stretches, they had the kind of 11-on-11 walkthrough type thing. And I'm not sure what that's about. We talked about it for a minute there, but you wonder if that's like a game week thing, like maybe they're working through a script of some sort. But that was a bit of a tweak.
Yeah, it was, and it was a really good point that maybe it's something for game week. We'll see if they do that tomorrow as well.
Yeah, usually you can see the quarterbacks do that. Like they go through the script. They're doing the quiz, like walking down the field. What's the play here? What's the play here? What's the play here? But it is interesting to see if they're doing anything differently. I was actually looking for scout team today, which I don't think we saw.
No, we did not see. It was still ones against ones for the most part. And I think they're going to ramp up practice even more tomorrow before coming down on Wednesday. And then obviously the joint practice on Thursday. And guys, I wouldn't be surprised if the joint practice is essentially the preseason game for the starters. And then on Saturday, we don't see starters.
Yeah. I mean, just looking through the rest of the NFL.
No starters.
Potentially.
It seems like it's going to be about a 50-50 split throughout the NFL in terms of playing starters versus not playing starters this first week.
Bet if you looked at the age of the coaches who are putting starters in, it would be older coaches.
Yep.
Because Sean McVay is like leading the charge for the young boys. That's just like, I'm not playing my guys at all.
Yep.
And I feel like that, because Sean McVay is the best young coach, all the other young coaches are like, oh, I should get in line with Sean because that's what we're doing now.
And it makes sense because you're looking at a really heavy game-like practice on Thursday. That's not enough time to then flip around and have your starters play again on Saturday.
That is true.
What would you rather do?
In terms of going hard on Thursday and then off on Saturday, I would probably do that for this time around just because on Thursday you can get a lot more reps with your starters. Yeah.
And yeah, you have like the cool thing about these joint practices, the coaches will sit down and have a meeting and say like, okay, what do you really want to see? What do I really want to see? Like in a game, you can't control what you see. So I think it's the right move. It's definitely not the more exciting one, especially for a 7 p.m. start.
Yeah.
Nope.
Everyone's going to be up late to watch next to nothing. I assume. I think maybe you get one drive from the starters.
And honestly, that's why for this game, you got to join our tailgate. And you got to be with us down at the stadium because the game is not something you need to remember. I can promise you that. So you want to come to our tailgate and have a damn good time. Tickets are available right now, right?
Yes.
Over at thednvrlocker.com.
Yep, and we actually have it up all over all of our socials with the link to get in. And let me just tell you this you're going to be the first ones to see like the new look tailgate. We're not pulling out necessarily all the bells and whistles. Keep a couple things in our sleeve for the regular season, but you're going to see what we have in store, what we have planned, and we've already promoted some of it. So like we've got a food truck this time, and your ticket comes with just all that, as much from that food truck as you want.
Ooh, you've got to be kidding me.
So it's mile-high sliders.
Oh, okay.
So you got all sorts of different sliders that you can get after, which like what a great thing to have a bunch of.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't seen the menu, but I'm just assuming like pulled pork slider, hamburger slider, buffalo chicken slider.
That's the slider I'm hoping for.
Like that just sounds incredible. Obviously, all you can drink Breck Brew, and we got a DJ. So like,
How much are tickets?
$40.
That's a steal.
Yes.
That's a steal.
That's a deal.
Does that come with the bus?
We're not doing a bus for this game.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but it's gonna be so sick. And you're so right though. Like, as a fan of a really bad football team, and I'm not talking about the Broncos, I'm talking about the Buffs. You realize that like when the product on the field is not good, you have to make the most of all the other things that go into a game day, and that is so true of the preseason. It's like if you're going to a preseason game, you're not expecting to have a great time because the football on the field is great.
Right.
But you still can have a great time, and it starts with going with us. Like, get there at the very beginning of the tailgate, which I believe is 4:30, and take it all the way up to the very last second before you can go in. I would get in there on time because if you miss the first drive, you might miss everything. But, like, you can go, 4:30 to 6:30, just having a blast. And that will... When you look back on the night at the end of it, you'll be like, oh, I'm so glad we went to the tailgate.
Saturday night games in the preseason are just nightmares for media because then we're working late into the night. But come on, for
Our
a
lives
fan,
are so hard.
For a fan, it's very true. But for a fan, that is just awesome to be able to celebrate your Saturday that way. And it's also awesome to win money over at DraftKings Sportsbook. You bet up to $1,000, and that is risk-free over at DraftKings Sportsbook on your first bet. So check them out over at DraftKings Sportsbook. We're going to get to our picks of the week in just a second, and I'm so pumped to hand those out. You can bet on this preseason game. Do either of you know the line for the preseason game for the Broncos this week?
I was just checking.
Yes, Broncos -2.
There we go. Broncos are favored. You can get in on that action. You can also get in already on Broncos in Seattle week 1. You can look ahead. DraftKings has so many futures bets in terms of who's going to lead the league in receiving and catches and rushing yards. All of that is over at DraftKings Sportsbook. So head to the App Store now, download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now, and use promo code DNVR when you sign up to get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 when you sign up. That's code DNVR over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. And guys, let's hand out our DraftKings pick of the week. Ryan, are you going Broncos Cowboys?
No, I'm not, but I am going Broncos. Like I said, I'm full football mode. I can't turn back. I don't even want to bet anything that's not football. By the way, we get preseason games Thursday through Sunday this week.
Friday?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Wow.
Sunday. Yep. I'm going Broncos week 1. And I just talked about this on bets, but if you don't tune into that, one of the things we always talk about is that early in the season is the best time to fade bad teams. It's before anyone knows just how bad they are, and you get really favorable lines. Like if you look, you almost never see double-digit lines in the first 4 weeks of the season because they're just like they don't want to give away too much. And I think that Broncos Seahawks should be close to a double-digit line, and it's not. It's 4.5. Which to me is just simply way too low. They've got the Broncos team total set at 23.5. So they're seeing this as like a 23-18, 23-17. There's just no way, in my opinion, that it ends up being that low scoring. I said today like 27-17-ish is where I see this thing going. And that's more than double the line. So get in on Broncos -4.5. I think people are going to hammer it the closer and closer the game gets. It's just going to go up, up, up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it near a touchdown by the time kickoff comes around. So don't wait. Get it at 4.5 now.
I love that. I love it. And I think it opened at 3.5. So, Ryan, it is starting to creep a little bit. So I love that line.
There you go.
Henry, what are you doing?
I'm taking under 31.5 in this Broncos-Cowboys game.
Oh, it does.
I hate to do that because it sounds like no fun.
Who are the
Yeah,
backups?
That is no fun.
For the Cowboys.
For the Cowboys, you've got Cooper Rush, Will Greer, Ben DiNucci.
Will Greer already on the Cowboys. He's
And
already
Gucci
moved.
DiNucci.
Wow.
But
I'm a little scared of that.
no, I mean,
He does not sound confident. in this band.
I don't love those guys. And
I'll
then
say
also,
this,
I mean,
I don't have much faith in the Broncos backups.
Exactly.
Now, if you get Brett Rippon versus the threes, I actually think he could do numbers.
He's actually had his best preseason or training camp so far.
For sure. So that's where I'm like, if I was an over better, I would be counting on Brett Rippon to score 2 touchdowns with the threes.
Right.
yeah. I mean, like the depth receivers, those guys are good. Like the third, fourth quarter receivers are going to be good. You're giving Max Borghi the ball quite a bit starting in the second quarter, though. This offensive line, Moody hasn't been practicing. I don't think the number 2 offensive line is going to be in good shape.
Yeah,
Cowboys,
that's what I worry about.
all
is
that
the
stuff.
backup offensive lineman.
Even the Cowboys starting receivers, like they're going to be terrible in this game. Like you got CeeDee Lamb and then you got 2 nobodies, and I can only imagine what happens after them. So just this feels like one of those very preseason-y preseason games to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're really right. The big thing for me is that you don't have great backup quarterbacks on either side in terms of just like Josh Johnson actually is a good NFL backup quarterback, but not like a guy who's like a former starter. Sometimes you get those guys like, for example, Carolina. Like I would take the over in their game because you're going to get 2 starters playing essentially.
Yeah.
This one is a lot of true backups. And you get backup offensive linemen, which are at a huge disadvantage to backup pass rushers. There are just so many more like athletes out there at the pass rusher position that I
Especially for
could
the
see
Broncos.
this being like a 10-7 type of match.
Gosh, no.
I think you were right though. Brett Rippon and those bottom line of Broncos receivers, like there's potential for them to put up points, and that's the only way it's going to happen.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to go a different route. I'm sticking with the NFL. I am going a futures bet on NFL MVP. I'm going with the guy with the 22nd best odds, plus 6,000. Who am I going with?
Is that Lamar?
Plus 6,000.
22nd best
No,
odds.
he's got to be like
Derrick
12.
Henry.
No. I'm going Mac Jones, baby. Mac Jones to be the MVP.
Whoa, have you not been paying attention to what's going on at Pat's camp?
No, actually.
Okay, well, apparently Matt Patricia is now in charge of the offense.
Yeah.
Well,
Which-
they aren't naming coordinators.
Yes, they are not naming
Yeah.
coordinators. But has anyone ever called him Matt Pat? Because they should. Matt Pat is in charge of the offense, and Mac Jones is having a terrible camp, and everyone is blaming Matt Patricia for that. Matt Pat.
Don't worry. We've got Bill. He's gonna come in, and actually, people before training camp started, people in New England are freaking out. Like, is Bill gonna run the offense, defense, and special teams?
Probably.
And what I said was that should make you excited.
Yes.
I mean, I'd rather have Bill Belichick doing everything for my
Absolutely.
team than any other coach.
All right.
They're installing-
I get
Oh, jeez.
Patriots miss the playoffs. You get Mac Jones wins MVP. Anything in between, anything in between is a
I
draw.
win?
You know,
No,
I
anything
don't.
in between I win.
I don't think I can take those odds today.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So you're actually more concerned about them missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's
Yeah.
a tough division.
It's a tough division. It's a tough conference.
They're implementing a zone running scheme. Like for the first time since Bill Belichick's been there. Like they're
is
now
terrible.
like changing their
This
identity.
is terrible. They're winning 6 games.
That's why Mac's gonna throw 55 touchdowns.
Oh God.
No, 54. I can't say he's gonna get 55.
Yeah, he's no Peyton.
I'm pretty worried about him, to be honest.
Being good.
Being bad.
Oh, have you seen his physique though?
No, is he?
It's different.
Is he shaped
A little
up?
chiseled.
Nice.
Yep,
A little
yep.
chiseled.
Little Mac Daddy. Yeah, a little.
Devontae Parker though. Sounds like that's going well. But Ibaka. We like Ibaka because they put us on your TV. They also put the Rockies there and the Avs there and the Nuggets. And that makes them a pretty awesome service right now, considering it's so hard to watch everybody at the same place in Denver. It's only $25 a month. Plus, for the first 3 months, if you use the code DNVR, you can get $10 off. That brings it down to $15 a month, plus a $5 receiver fee. So $20 a month. It's a great deal. You get all of that stuff. And you can do that if you go to evoca.tv/Colorado10. That's evoca.tv/Colorado10. And you can turn your home into the ultimate game viewing zone.
There you go.
All right. Let's talk about the play at the very end of practice.
All right, let's do it.
And because this helped the offense, the defense still won practice. But
Easily.
this really helped Russ get to a 2. Maybe he was going to float on a 1. I'm not sure. This helped the receivers get on the board for the day. But it was the very last play of practice. Nathaniel Hackett knew it going in. I'm sure Russ knew going in. And I was standing on the left sideline, and I was just watching Russ the whole time. And he was going to Courtland Sutton the entire time. He's in shotgun, gets the pass, looks Courtland's way. Courtland just starts burning down the left sideline. You have Ronald Darby, and you couldn't be in more perfect coverage. The ball goes up. It's a jump ball 40, 50 yards down the field.
Well, it was a deep ball on off coverage. So, like, Darby didn't have to do much.
Right.
Sutton ran right to him.
Yep, he did, and Darby turned with him and stuck with him. And on the left sideline, when the ball got there, I kid you not, Sutton turns around to catch it, and Darby is just, it's like
In
he's
his lap.
strapped on he's in his lap, like on his backpack, like a baby sitting in their parents' backpack on their chest. He's right there.
Except Courtland Sutton's a monster of a man.
Yes, exactly. No, he's the one carrying the baby.
No, because Darby was in front of him.
Yeah.
He was
But it's like
Darby's backpack.
No, it's like those front babies. You know the front baby?
Okay.
Yeah. Darby's his baby in
All right.
there. Just perfect coverage.
Yep.
And Sutton just puts both of his arms over Darby's shoulders, catches the ball, comes down, and I'm thinking when he goes down,
It's going to pop out.
yeah, or is it going to be an interception?
Oh.
Because Courtland kind of helped Darby catch the ball, but then nope, they slam on the ground, by the way. Darby kind of pops out, and Courtland's got the ball and goes nuts.
And I was probably like 10, 15 yards closer to the line of scrimmage than you. So from my perspective, like they just whizzed by me. And then like the whole time you're just watching those two and you're like, okay, ball's in the air. Sutton should get this. Like because I saw him run by and you're like, yeah, he's got like the 6-inch advantage. And then when they go up in the air and he kind of like dives, my first thought was, oh no, this looks like a super awkward collision that's happening. And then that's what happened is he landed on Darby. And when somebody that big lands on you, like you're just asking for trouble. And Darby was down on the ground, like grabbing his wrist, all that sort of stuff. He was there for a bit. Peyton came over, Hackett came over. He went down the tunnel. It's just kind of hard to tell. Like it doesn't seem like
One of those
something
things
should
that
be
we could
serious.
never hear about it again. Or we could
Exactly.
find out like he broke his pinky and he's out.
Yeah.
Touch wood. But
Yes.
it's just one of those things like when there's a real serious injury, like
Yeah.
this is one of those ones that's just like could be anything.
Yep.
Yeah, but Courtland Sutton just looks like a horse. There is a horse. That's a man who's built like a horse.
He does also gallop.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But like when he's just so big that's what makes you think like, oh, this could not go well. Like if he lands on top of Darby, this could not go well because that man's just massive.
Yeah, I said it in our video that'll come out a little bit later, but like every single day, without fail, someone around me on the hill just turns to one of their buddies and just goes, holy shit, Courtland is so big.
Yeah.
Like that's just what he looks like out there. He's maybe the only guy who just completely looks like a different animal when he's on the field. Like it's just he's so big. He wears, like he's got his jersey rolled up. He's jacked. And he's just so tall that when you see him out there, you're like, oh my God.
But you
He's
see
a
him use
monster.
that now too. Like that's a couple of those catches he's made that that should be why he fits best with Russell Wilson. And when he's matched up against Pat Surtain, like that's just nobody's catching balls against Pat Surtain. But when we've seen him go up against Ronald Darby, this is twice now that he's just manhandled a corner who's, a good corner, but just not big enough to compete.
Yeah.
It's not fair. He's got 5 inches.
Yeah.
Think about that. 5 inches and 23 pounds on him.
Think about 5 inches all the time.
I think about 23 pounds all the time.
No, I think that Courtland.
Horses.
I think that Courtland is the closest I've seen him to 2019 Courtland, and that is the most exciting thing about this. Is like he has had one of those camps where you can just look back at the 2019 camp and just be like, I remember him doing this.
Right.
The one thing that I'll say is like a lot of these big moss catches have been body catches, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Usually when you're mossing someone, like you're just high pointing the ball, and he's just like going over people's shoulders and just scooping it. And he just gets so much higher than them that he's able to do that. But that's the one thing I'm just like waiting for. That's the one thing I'm missing from Courtland is I want to see him go high point balls with his hands. And it's not that he hasn't done that when he's had the opportunity. It's just those throws haven't really been there from Russ. The one was the one that Surtain knocked out.
Yeah.
He mistimed the jump.
And that's a Russ thing too. Like he has a tendency to underthrow those balls. I mean, all the great deep ball quarterbacks, they underthrow those balls a little bit just to give guys a chance.
Yep.
Like that's the difference between like a Drew Lock where it's like, oh, is he gonna get under? Oh, it's just a little bit too long again.
Yep.
You leave that ball 2 yards short, there's at least a chance to make a play. Now, I mean, with KJ Hamler, that's not really a strategy. But with a guy like Courtland Sutton, I think that's why he's going to get more opportunities from
100%.
Russell Wilson. It's just because you do underthrow those a little bit because you don't want to waste the play.
I just need to see more consistency from
Yes.
Courtland on short and the deep ones. Now, of course, the deeper ones are going to have a lesser or worse completion percentage, but you still want to see Courtland just a little more consistent from day in, day out. But what I like is over these past couple of days where the offense has won heading into today, Courtland has been more consistent. And so I really like seeing that chemistry between he and Russell Wilson building.
Speaking of Sean McVay and just like how much care he's taking as players, they just had a scheduled like no throw day for Matt Stafford today just to rest his arm.
But he's having that arm issue. He has pain throwing the football now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's like this
I
weird...
thought that was just like a weird Sean McVay thing. He's like, we're just going to do mental reps today.
Might be too. But that's sneaky getting concerning.
Yeah, it's what is it, tendonitis?
It's something like
No,
that.
there's reports out there. Sean McVay pushed back on the fact that it wasn't tendonitis. So it's like an elbow thing, and he compared it to a pitcher injury in baseball, which is
Tommy
not
John.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. And do you guys remember midway through last year when Stafford was struggling a bit? And I think a report came out that said like he's having like degenerative back issues
Oh my God.
that they don't think can ever be fixed. And it was like, oh my God. And then, of course, rightfully so, everyone forgot about that and stopped talking about it because of the tremendous run and obviously Super Bowl they went on to win.
That's why you can't leave people to rot in Detroit for 10 years.
Such a waste.
Even sunny Los Angeles can't save them.
Nope. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. I'm so excited for Courtland because I do think Russ is going to give him those opportunities. And I love that Russ looked out there and saw, like, sucks for Darby, but I love that he looks when he sees Darby on Courtland. He's like, well, there it is.
Yep. So smart.
And I mean, when I saw Ronald Darby at the home run derby thing that we went to, I was shook by how small he is. Like he is tiny.
That was one of the first things you said to me.
Yes, I was like, who? And then I like realized who it was. I was like, that's wild that he's in the NFL. Not taking a shot at him. It's actually like a feather in his cap.
Yeah.
Because he is like for his size physical and he makes good plays on the ball and he's fast. But he has no business guarding Courtland Sutton. And it's one of those things that I'm like, I always wonder, like, is Evero allowing this? Is it one of those things where they're just like, hey, like, we're not going to switch stuff around, like, for matchups in training camp? Just, show me the base defense or show me the way that you want these guys to line up. But, like, in a game, if you're going up against, like, Mike Evans, I certainly hope they're putting Pat Surtain over there.
Like, how about this? Week 1.
I know they don't play the Bucks, but
Week 1, I hope it's Pat Surtain following DK Metcalf around, because if it's DK and Ron Darby, Drew Lock, Geno Smith, throw the ball up to DK because he's even bigger than Courtland Sutton. And then also Ron Darby, I mean...
and stronger and faster, too.
Exactly. You weren't putting Ron Darby down for being small. He can't control that, but Ron Darby would be a really good matchup on Tyler Lockett.
Totally.
So I would really like that, and that's, I hope, something that they're not afraid to do Week 1.
Yeah. I mean, they'll throw in some different things, too. Like, maybe you have a safety up top, and you have Darby underneath, just kind of like fighting there,
Playing
being
the
quick
flat,
underneath. Yeah, just to like tweak it. But yeah, I mean, you do have some versatility. It does scare you.
What I can't handle is like third down man coverage, Darby on Metcalf.
You gotta pick your matchups.
And like that happens in the NFL. And I just, because teams don't want to shadow receivers anymore, it's like almost like a lost art of like shadowing receivers. And it's just like, so you're just cool with getting beat? Like, I don't understand that. It's like, if you're going man coverage, put Surtain on Metcalf. Like,
Yep.
it's that simple. It reminds me of an old Bill Belichick clip where he goes up to Chad Johnson before the game and he's just like, sorry, man, like, you're not getting catches today.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on, man, like, let me get out of there. He's like, no, you're not. Sorry.
Yeah.
And like, I think he had like 3 or 4 catches in the whole game. It was
And
just
they
like,
probably won because it was a good game plan or something.
yeah, they took him away. Like, take that away. Use your weapon to take away their weapon.
Yeah.
And the best part for Pat Surtain and why he should be going to Evero is they're not going to not throw to DK.
Right.
So give Pat a chance to like go out there and get 2 picks week 1 because they're not going to ignore DK. They're going to try and force it to him.
Start the defensive player of the year conversation right
Yes.
after that.
Let's go.
Absolutely. And some other cornerback notes. I mean, you mentioned the Jalen Virgil catch down the sideline. OJ Mudia was right there. He was right there running stride for stride with him and just never turned his head around, never got an arm up to try to get the ball.
So did he just lose it? Is that what
No,
happened?
he just didn't try. Like he just ran right there and the ball just like dropped over his head and you're just like,
I will say, were you on the left, like the north side of the field?
Yeah. No. Yes.
yes.
No.
Okay. I was on the south side of the field. I will say, like, the ball tailed away towards the sideline, and I don't know if that, I don't think that was by design, but it ended up being perfect because it was like, imagine like a fade in golf, right? Like, it kind of cut away from the defender and towards the towards Jalen Virgil. So it took a nice catch from him.
Oh, yeah.
But I wasn't watching Ojamudi on the
yeah,
play.
it was just like this weird play where it's like, why not just put one arm up? Like why? Because it felt like he did the hard part, and that's also a thing that's happened with him and young corners in general. Like that's always the part that's toughest to get is getting your head around making a play on the ball. But that part wasn't great. He was getting some run with the ones though, and so was Damari Mathis with Pat Surtain in the slot, which was interesting. They're probably just trying stuff out, but who knows?
Yeah. You also had Ronald Darby earlier in practice have a pick just go right through his hands. That wasn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't get picks.
He does not give picks. That's why he was going crazy when he got a pick last weekend that fell in his arms. And this one fell in his arms. Courtland Sutton slipped coming out of his break.
Again.
And then, again. And also, Courtland Sutton slipped twice in warm-ups today. So he's got to get those cleats checked out or something.
Yeah.
And then
A lot of guys were like limping today. Just like collisions and like just like
seeing
I mean
that.
like not hurt but just
Yeah.
like coming
Right.
up like oh god like
Yeah.
Darby even on the one where Courtland slipped
Yep.
he's
Yeah.
coming up
Yep.
limp. Courtland's
Yep.
limping.
Yep.
There's another one where Jerry was limping. I was like, what is going on out there, boys? Like,
After a day off, come on, guys. And Justin Simmons had a pick go right through his hands in the end zone.
yes. Well, he got undercut a little bit by KJ. Like it was a bad decision by Russ. He thought he could just float it up to KJ. Justin being Justin comes off of his coverage, goes all the way back to get it, gets both hands on it, and then like KJ is not on purpose, but like tabletops him, and he drops it.
And maybe Justin would dropped off his assignment anyway, but Jerry just stopped playing. Like, and I was standing next
Henry
to.
was on effort police today.
I know. Well, it was this weird play where I was like, "Wait, what just happened? Why did Jerry just stop and look the other direction?" And I like turned around and was like, "What?" And
Did he get yelled at?
former receiver, Broncos receiver. We love that tale. But he was like, yeah, Jerry just kind of got hit in the face there. It's like, what? He's like, yeah, he just took somebody kind of slapped him in the face and he just stopped playing. And it's like, so that's what happened? And he's like, yeah. And then Justin dropped off and just about made a play on the ball. And there's things like that where you're just like, do your job. Like, just go through the play.
Okay, Josh.
For real.
Do your job.
Let's see if I have anything else. I think one more thing I just wanted to add for my notes. Formational creativity. It's something that I talk about so much, and it drove me absolutely bonkers that Pat Shurmur never did it.
I thought you were going to say, like, today, and I was like,
No,
oh, wait.
no. It was just, you never saw it from Shurmur. Never got creative with the formation. I'll try not to give too much detail here, but on one of the few touchdowns of the day for the offense, they went 5 wide from the goal line. And the way that they lined up the 5 wide, I've never seen before. Because it's like, I don't even think you can call it 5 wide. It was really 5 tight. And it was just like too much for the defense to really even handle. They're all up near the line of scrimmage. Snap it, boom, flip it to Javonte in the flat. He beats Jonas Griffith to the pylon. And it was just like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, make the defense think a little bit.
Yep.
Rather than just being like, you got him, cool, we're good.
Yeah, and they beat them. I mean, the play call was what got them the touchdown.
Exactly. And that's something that has been missing on this team for years is just like when you watch the NFL on Sunday, like the Broncos open Monday Night Football game, you just see so many teams scheming guys wide open.
Yep.
And then for years, you've just watched the Broncos and been like, how is every yard so hard to get? And that's like why Nathaniel Hackett is here, is to scheme guys open and use the offense to make things easier for the players.
And we talked about how the receivers didn't catch any balls. It's all tight ends and running backs. All those guys were schemed open. Like, we don't need to get into the details, but there's like bootlegs and stuff in there where you're like, oh, yeah, how could that guy have known that Tomlinson was going to be right there? Because there's no way he would be looking that direction. So there's a lot of that you see. I guess it does suck that we can't dig in too deep into the formations and the play calls and that sort of stuff. Like, it makes sense. But I think that we would come off as less down on the offense if we could report back with like 3 or 4 plays. It's like, oh, look how this was designed. Look what they did with this guy. And I think people will get a little bit more excited about the offense too. I will say, you go back to that, I think it's like the second behind the Broncos from this offseason, where Hackett says like, oh, you got to throw a little motion there. Every play's got to have at least a little bit of motion. Like, it's just stuff like that where you're like, this does look better now.
It's so funny that you mentioned that because I was listening to an interview with Aaron Rodgers today, and he was very open about how he hates that their offense has motion on every play. He was like, I swear to God, I was just complaining about it to LaFleur today. Like, can we have a one play where we don't have motion so I can up the tempo a little bit? Which is true. Like, it's hard to go hurry up when you have to get everyone set and then bring a guy in motion. But I'm the opposite of Aaron Rodgers. I want motion often because it just makes the defense think, and they have to think quickly. And it gives obviously the quarterback a better look at what they're seeing.
Well, there you go. You're gonna love it here.
I'm gonna love it. Just no more fake jet sweeps. Well, not as many fake jet sweeps without working in at least one real jet sweep.
You have to do it occasionally for teams to bite.
Yes.
And speaking of biting, if you have maybe bit down a little too hard, cracked a tooth, you got to check out our friends over at Green Mountain Dental, where whatever you need done to your mouth, they are going to be able to take care of. And if you schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam, they will give you a free Sonicare toothbrush. You have to go to the dentist twice a year anyway, so might as well go somewhere that, 1, will give you a free Sonicare toothbrush. Well, 2, they're going to be Colorado sports fans. You can talk Colorado sports. And 3, they're part of our family. So make them part of your family. They're great people over there, and that's what you want in a dentist when it comes down to it, is great people. So check them out and schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam, and tell them the DNVR sent you.
Hell yeah.
And also, Foco. Oh, we love Foco. If you guys are excited about the Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup and you bought like the t-shirt, you bought the hat, but you feel like you still don't have enough, go over to Foco. They've got all sorts of different Stanley Cup memorabilia. They've even got throwback stuff to like Joe Sakic in the Stanley Cup. They've got bobblehead of it. So much cool stuff over at Foco. And if you're just a Broncos fan, they've got stuff for you too. They've got all of the, like, anything that you could want, but in memorabilia form. Like bobbleheads, like pants or shoes or whatever. It's an awesome place to go. And if you use the code DNVR, you can get 10% off all non-sale items. And Foco.com, or just click the link below in the YouTube.
Pretty sweet stuff.
This says for all non-pre-sale items. And so that kind of tied my brain up for a second.
Interesting.
I'm going to yell at somebody.
Okay, you go do that. We are going to move on into the comments. Any super chats? No super chats.
Wow.
Soft performance.
Wow.
From chat. Any good chats? Not quite super, but still solid.
Just a couple people asking about fantasy football stuff, but
Of course, you would notice that.
would you take Courtland high, or would you wait to take Judy a couple rounds later?
I would wait.
Judy later,
Yep.
if that's an option.
Also, this is the problem with playing in fantasy leagues with Broncos fans. Like, people are going to want those guys. In a normal fantasy league, you could probably get either of them late.
Yes, definitely. I think so.
And then question about Michael Ojemudia, how he's been looking.
I touched on it.
Yeah.
He's rotating in occasionally.
Definitely has not lived up to the OTA hype.
Nope, 100%. Now he's going to make this team, but he's going to be battling with Demary Mathis for
Yes.
who has that kind of backup next man up spot.
I'll just put it this way. If you told me right now, game-winning drive, one of them has to be on the field, I'm taking Damari Mathis.
Yep.
I'm too.
Yep. I also have a comment that I would like to touch on from Brandon Curry.
Oh, look at you monitoring the chat.
I monitor all sorts of shit.
Producer Hank over here.
Yeah. Aliens don't need big bodies because if they can space travel, they have machines on their planet to do the lifting. Also, in the movie E.T., the aliens were researchers. Humans don't send out LeBrons to space. We send engineers and scientists. Aliens would do the same.
So really,
I'm not talking about aliens landing on Earth.
Yeah, you shouldn't have read that comment, Henry, because now that helps him.
No, they send out the aliens we will see. Like,
Yeah.
we're not leaving the planet. Let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
We're seeing the aliens they send,
Yeah.
and those are all just going to be the little nerdy guys. They're
Yeah.
not the big scary warriors.
But then it kind of helps his case that there are bigger guys back home.
Back home.
Yeah. I need like proof though.
Maybe that's how we settle this debate. Back in alien land, you win. Here, when aliens come here, we win.
I'm just thinking, like, we're willing to accept that there was, like, 100-foot tall dinosaurs. Maybe on other planets, there's 100-foot tall, more human-like animals.
I hope not.
Colton came in clutch with a super chat here. He said, I can only give $2, good sir. Hashtag go Broncos.
Let's go into the London Fund.
I love it.
Yes.
Thank you, Colton.
The London Fundin'.
You can use it on a pint.
Oh, that's what we should call it. Fundin' London.
Yes,
Wow.
fund in London.
That's our
London
fundraiser. Come to the tailgate.
to help us fund in London.
We'll be selling brownies and car washes.
Yes.
Pantless?
Yeah.
Like practice today?
Okay. Website?
Yeah, Dan
Website.
Burke comes in and says, hey guys, if you had to rank the rookie draft picks in terms of who has impressed you the most, then how would y'all do that?
Great question.
And here are the candidates. Of course, Nick Benito, Greg Dulcich, Damari Mathis, Delarin Turner-Yell, Montrell Washington, Luke Wattenberg, Matt Henningsen, and Faion Hickson. Shout out to Matt Henningsen. He had a tip pass today.
Yes, he did. I'll tell you a funny story about that after the show. Okay. Can we take out some of the people that just like haven't done anything?
Okay, Faion Hicks, pretty much Luke Wattenberg, Matt Henningsen, Turner-Yell has not been
He's
doing
been
much.
out there.
Um,
Okay, let's just go. Montrell Washington number 1.
Yep.
Agreed. Damari Mathis number 2.
Yep.
I agree.
Benito.
I think Benito has to be 3.
Okay.
Because he has like one play a day where you're like, oh, he's in the backfield. Like he's probably not getting a sack, but he's in the backfield.
Innie.
yeah, I think
Number
so.
4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dulcich number 5.
Probably not. He hasn't
I
been
mean-
out there.
I mean,
But what's
you're
the
putting
other
in
option?
DTY, Wattenberg, Henningsen, Faion Hicks. Like he's
Faion
probably
Hicks has
got
been
it.
in there, but he hasn't
had a
really done
touchdown.
anything.
That's more than
He
any
did.
of these
He
other
did.
guys
You're
can
right.
say.
You're right. The one
Yep.
practice where he kind of was almost a full participant, he did have a touchdown. So
Yep.
yeah, sure.
Was he out today?
Yeah, that's the bad news today.
Oh,
He has now, so he did not practice for the beginning of camp with a hamstring injury. Came back, looked like he was progressing, like Ryan said, caught a touchdown, and now today he was on the side.
See how you guys tell me that you share this stuff with me, but you don't.
I was gonna ask you if you wanted the good news, the bad news first, then we jumped into this. Do you want some good news now?
Yeah.
Injury front. K'Wan Williams back at practice. DJ Jones, he's back in the building. He
Sauce.
had his baby. Sauce is back and practicing. It's going to take him a while to become a full participant. And I believe there was also one more person that was back at practice. Do you remember, Hank?
K1 he wasn't in like the team drills.
Yeah.
Should make that note.
Yeah, he's going to slowly move back.
Sad that Darius Shepard has failed to exist after making that one catch.
Oh, that's very true. Yeah, but when you said that, I said, who? And Natani Muti not practicing again.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I guess you put Henningsen. Actually, Wattenberg came in at center after Lloyd Cushenberry botched a snap, which was actually Russell Wilson's fault.
And then do you know what happened?
He also botched a
He
snap.
also botched the snap.
But this weird thing's been happening where they do that drill. I think I've maybe have said this on this podcast now I started, but the practice starts, the centers are snapping the quarterback hands it off, and once again, it's not Luke Wattenberg out there as one of the 3 centers. It's Cushenberry, it's Glasgow, and it's number 74.
Zach
Turner?
Johnson.
Zach Johnson?
Yeah.
Maybe. Wow. But yeah, and it's like, why
Is
aren't
it
you?
74
I'm
Zach
pretty sure it
Johnson?
is, yeah.
He was the guy throwing.
Check me, baby.
He was
Yeah.
throwing swings last week.
Yes, he was. That's why I know his name now.
He was throwing slaps, I should say.
Yeah, was that you that reported that?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I
they
said
were
slaps.
slaps. Oh,
They were not punches.
Not him?
No, Casey Tucker.
Oh,
number
my
74.
homie. I should know his number.
Yeah.
What number is Zach Johnson?
Zach Johnson is in the 60s, I believe. I want to say 68. I want to say he's Elijah
That's a
Wilkinson.
huge-
Yep, 68.
68. Look at that.
Wow.
Probably just have to retire.
Yeah.
quit the pod from
I
here.
should. Zach's
We should
roll
do
together.
a daily number quiz.
I'm down.
It'll help everyone.
like the Broncos did last year,
Yeah,
and we would just win left and right.
we did. Yeah,
DNVR
I
would.
still have my shot glass that I won. Which is like so fitting that the DNVR guy
Yes,
won a
it's
shot
very
glass
true.
at Broncos Training Camp. You want to throw me one?
Yeah, 32.
32.
You want a hint?
Yeah.
We have recently said his name.
Okay, it's DTY.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but I was like, he wouldn't have given me that one.
Yeah, that's the trick.
All right, let's move on.
Zia Tortilla. You wanna
Heading,
get it?
I
You
got
wanna
it. Heading
get
back to
Okay.
Denver. Where do you get this molcajete or however you spell it? Your description of it sounded amazing. I'm so happy that you said that and that you're coming to Denver and that you want to try it here because our Mexican food is amazing.
And do you understand why I did not want to read this?
Yes.
Yes.
Los Dos. Just go to Los Dos. Los Dos por Trios. That is, of course, famously where Nathaniel Hackett won over George Payton. So there's already that like cool thing that you have going for you. You're coming to Denver. Like, we might as well just add that on our list of places we tell everyone to go to when they come here.
Yeah.
Because we're like, okay, obviously DNVR bar, come to the tailgate. I always say, like, go to Uncle. Also, go to Los Dos por Trios. And don't get what Nathaniel Hackett ordered. I personally ordered it, and it just doesn't live up to any of the thing. Like,
So
any
we
of
need
the
to know
top.
what is it.
He got, like, the tamale plate or something.
Okay.
Tamale plate.
Okay.
Which, like, again, I love tamales.
Yeah.
And they're good. And they smother it in green chili, so, like, it's still good. But it just doesn't live up to, like, some of the top dishes I've had.
Okay.
So
okay.
get the
That's good to
molcajete
know. There you
with
go.
green chili.
Also,
man.
shout out La Loma. Their green chili is also really good.
There's this. I have not had the molcajete there, if they even offer it. It's a big, it's a big commitment to put molcajete on the menu.
That has a little chocolate in it, right?
No.
it
You're
doesn't.
thinking of mole.
Oh, yes, exactly. Okay, next one from Big Hangstan says, okay, if you're going to snatch the low-hanging fruit of kicker slander and drinketh from the wine of special teams mockery, then I don't want to hear any celebrating when the kid boots game winners.
Yes.
No.
Agreed.
No.
Agreed.
No.
I feel like you can't have it both ways.
I think I can.
You know what Brandon McManus did today?
What?
Dressed up as an official.
Oh, yeah. That shows you how important it is.
Yeah, it just plays right into
Do you know what Justin Reed did today?
No.
Made a 65-yard field goal in practice.
No way.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yes. Actually, I'm like not even 100% sure it's a real video. Like, I had to watch it 4 times, and I'm like, that ball is moving so fast for how hard it seemed like he kicked it. So, like, I won't be surprised if it comes out that the whole thing was a spoof. But
Did Justin
apparently-
Reed himself put the video out?
I thought it was like the Chiefs or yeah, someone like that.
Wow.
Let me see.
That is wild.
I mean, that opens the door to cut the kicker and just have him do it.
It really does. Although Chiefs have a pretty good one.
They do.
Justin Reed. Oh, I spelled it wrong.
Man, that is wild. When you find that, he says, Zach, I've got the under on Judy 1,000 receiving yards. Pizza bet. You're on,
Yes.
Big Hank Stan. Great pizza bet there. I get Judy over. We are on. And then he says, Hank.
Tweeted out by the NFL.
Wow.
NFL wouldn't lie. They're always very honest.
Did they at whoever it was?
Dude, it's so hard.
Was it in practice?
Yes, and he has like 10 yards to spare.
Oh, my God.
No, not like in practice, but like on the practice field.
Yeah. Is he their backup kicker then?
He should be their starter. Where were we?
He says, Hank, your on-air comedic timing is something to behold, and your Twitter humor is as dry as the Mojave Desert. Kind of a Maca Kliss type deal. I love it. Big Hank Stan.
No, thanks, Big Hank Stan.
You know, Henry does such a great job of showing his personality here and in his writing And then on Twitter, we get nothing.
I go through phases. Like, I was really good at tweeting through, like, mid-spring and then just kind of, like, faded away. I got to start. You just have to.
Borgie gets the edge for 6.
Yeah, go Borgie.
Give me something. All right, next
lost
one
him.
from CDuts1285. My boys, breaking news. DEA raids Russell Wilson's home after DNVR super producer tips off media to Broncos QB cooking meth. That was RG.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what RG said he cooked.
We did what did Russ cook today, and he said meth.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's banned.
Speaking of, if I had to say what Russ cooked today, I would say like a key lime pie, because it was the only part that was good was the very end, so it was like dessert.
What's the very end of key lime pie?
No, just the
crust.
very end of practice. But I'm saying it, so it was like he cooked a dessert because it was only good for after the meal.
Okay, that's creative.
What
I like
happens on these shows when I'm gone,
Yeah,
man?
me too, Kale.
What is happening?
You can't leave. On the real though, shout out to RK for the over on the Hall of Fame game. You're welcome. Andre just had to take a shot of Malort for being wrong on that. Getting back to the Broncos may be a hot take, but I think their passing D will look better than they did with Fangio this year. I think it all comes down to how effective our pass rush can be. What do you guys think? Also wanted to share that I appreciate you guys in the pod so much. I don't drop comments too often, but I listen every single day. Before I found DNVR, I dreaded my commute to work every day, but ever since, I look forward to it because I have an hour to listen to the pods. They always make me laugh. There's such good info that you guys put on the website. Can't thank you boys enough. Sorry for the long post, but hearing some of the comments last week urged me to share my personal experience. P.S. You all, especially RK, should get a kick out of this. 2 seasons ago, my best friends, knowing how much of a diehard Broncos fan I am, bought me a custom Broncos shirt for my birthday. Any guesses on what it says on the back? Needless to say, I'm happy that the number 3 jersey now says Wilson instead of Horse C Rock. LMAO, stay awesome, boys. As always, go Broncos and go DNVR.
Oh man, can you wear that out and about?
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. See, I'm so upset we never did like the horse emoji, chicken emoji.
Brandon Perna
lock
beat
emoji.
us to it.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's all over it.
So good.
He's so edgy.
Good. That's such a good little hat.
He's not afraid to show his personality on Twitter.
That's for sure.
Personal the hell out of this Twitter.
I agree. I mean, I think the what you said about the pass rush, kind of just defining the ceiling for this group, specifically the pass defense, is true. I think if the pass rush comes out and they're really good, then this pass defense is absolutely going to be top 5. If they come out and aren't able to get pressure, it doesn't really matter how good your cornerbacks are. You're not going to be able to have a ton of success if quarterback has all the time in the world to throw the ball.
Also, thank you for all the
Yes.
great comments. It is true. Having a podcast that you like changes driving like dramatically.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy driving to training camp so much because I'm just like crushing through great podcasts that I never have time to listen to otherwise.
My problem is the podcast I listen to is 25 minutes.
Ooh,
And it's
that
a
drive's
45-minute
30
drive.
to 45. Yeah.
Yeah. So that part stings.
How
Also
often are they released?
daily.
Oh, okay.
Daily.
Helps a little bit.
25. What is it?
The daily.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it was a great question.
What's that?
It's like New York
news?
Times, just like one news story a day.
Oh God, it sounds terrible.
And that is the difference between us. Yeah. Learned all about the trial. The Alex Jones trial today.
Oh wow.
Which I just realized might be controversial.
Definitely. I was listening to Aaron Rodgers get pressed on not taking the vaccines, which is also
Big
Yeah.
controversial.
Yeah.
Nash Bronco, someone who's not controversial, says, "Fellas, hope you guys had an
I hope he
amazing
says
day
something
off.
so controversial.
I will keep this brief, but I will be controversial." No, he says, "I'll keep it brief." In reference to my last comment about me only watching football and professional bass fishing, I would like pro bass fishing to be pro golf. No teams, more of a niche audience, fan base, very low win rates. The GOATs win less than 10% of the tournaments they compete in, and a
Because
lot
it's
more
mostly luck.
in a lot more uncontrollable variables than stick and ball sports. Weather
Isn't
conditions.
golf by definition a stick and ball sport?
100%. It says weather conditions, water conditions, seasonal patterns, and the choice anglers make based on it's all very fascinating.
So if the fish are hungry.
Probably.
Yeah.
He says, i.e. when bait to throw amongst the thousands available, or what bait to throw. He says, and yes, there are some great podcasts that cover the sport. Heard the offense did well today. Yay, go Broncos and DNVR.
Awesome. That must have been like another day.
I don't know. It was left today, so I think he heard from another source.
I don't know how I'm so confused by that.
Yeah, no.
I gotta hear some other media today to see
Yeah.
like what people are saying
Yeah.
was impressive.
Well, Hank started
also-
listening to his 25-minute podcast, so he can listen to something else.
That's true. I'll have another 15 minutes or so. Can we bet on bass fishing? Is that a thing?
No.
Damn.
We
No.
could go bass fishing and like make a bet on who can catch the most.
That feels like something men have done for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
That
Fishing is really fun. Like if I wasn't like debilitatingly addicted to golf, I would get into fishing.
again, just like the grabbing the fish, unhooking the fish. Like I'm all down to like wade out in the water,
You're like the
fling
least
the thing
Montana
around.
Montana person.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fishing would be really fun if it were fun.
It is fun.
Exactly.
Dude,
Well, the
any
outside
excuse
is
you have
fun.
to go outside and drink is a good thing.
Exactly. Just I want an excuse to not touch the fish either. If I knew that I'd be bad at it, I'd do it every day.
You're like, I want to go fishing and never catch a fish.
Yeah.
Just cut off the end, so there's
Exactly.
not even
No.
bait, but there's not even a hook.
No, you just tie like a little piece of bait, feed the fish, everybody wins. Except for the worm.
It's just feeding fish with a string.
Yeah. It would be the best time. I told that theory to Mel Tucker once.
Oh,
He thought I was so
That's why
dumb.
he left.
He
Yeah,
gave
I
me
was
the
gonna say,
weirdest
yeah.
look. He was just like, what the hell are you
You
talking
sang
about?
CU football.
Yeah.
You certainly didn't feed him.
That was probably right after he was telling you about how he went hog
That
hunting.
actually was. That's what came out. He was like, yeah, I went hog hunting down in Georgia. I was
Oh
like,
my
shit. I've always
gosh.
thought like fishing would be fun if you just got to feed him instead. And he was just like,
my
what the hell?
I'm gonna go fishing with Hank and like bring like a cooler of beers, a rod for me, and then just a pack of saltine crackers for him to just throw into the water.
Yeah. I just want to wade into like my knees, you know?
Oh my god. Okay. I think that wraps it
I think
up.
we did it.
That was a great
Wait, we
podcast.
have two super chats.
Oh, people are coming through. See, all you gotta do is just press them a little.
Yeah. Okay, so first one coming in from our guy Brandon. He says, I'm from KC and always been a huge Broncos fan. I'll be there for Sunday Night Football. We'll need to know how to find out the plan that day. Go DNVR and go Broncos.
Heck yeah.
Just look up Sports Fan on Google Maps, and it's right there on Federal. And the tailgate is right behind it. But you'll probably just want to come to DNVR and come on the bus.
Yeah.
So all that stuff is going to be available soon, so you can buy in advance. I have a feeling that this year tailgate tickets and bus tickets are going to go a lot faster.
If
than
they
did
go
last year.
super fast, I feel like we could get another bus.
Well, I think we were going to plan on doing 2 buses per game.
Shit. There goes my idea.
So we probably could get 3 if we
Or a double decker bus.
Oh.
We can bring one back with us.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
And then coming in from Matt
Dubois.
Dubois. Okay, sorry, my mic wasn't working for a second.
Likely story.
Coming in from Matt Dubois. F1 drivers are absolutely athletes. Just a callback.
Okay, so the last show we went into like what's athletes. I said everyone's an athlete.
Wow.
Fishermen, golfers, dartists.
Wow.
He was just pandering.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
clearly.
I mean, competitive eaters, all athletes.
Gamers?
Yes, definitely athletes.
Wow.
Let's see what else.
Because he's in a gamer league.
Loggers, meaning like the people, not the people who just go chop down forests, but the ones who like do it for recreation.
If you just like start a timer when you do it, does that count?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see.
About vloggers.
Depends on what you're vlogging.
Okay. Fair.
RG, definitely an athlete.
Brandon Curry says the fish that don't get caught are considered athletes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Hank and RG said F1 drivers not athletes.
I'm about to just pare it down to like football, track,
Also,
basketball,
the
maybe
person,
not even
someone
track.
came at us like pretty hard on Twitter about this, and they said like, "Go drive at that speed for that long and tell me you're not sore." And I was like, "Well, if being sore is the threshold, then like everyone who goes to sleep at night after they turn 30 is an
you ride a
athlete."
roller coaster.
Yeah.
That'll get your back all sore.
So then, what draws the line? What makes an athlete an athlete?
Honestly, obviously, I was exaggerating a little bit, but like to me, it's like, do you have to use your body to succeed in the sport.
I got type.
But that's not a sport.
No, okay.
Okay.
In the,
If we're
in the
testing the-
competition.
So what you're saying, if there's a sport, they're pretty much an athlete.
Well, but that's the thing. Is people say like golf isn't a sport; it's a hobby, or like whatever. To me, it's like, do you have to like use your body to do a motion that helps you win the competition?
If it's considered a sport, then the people that play in it are athletes
Yes.
in some form or fashion.
Yep.
That's where I'll draw the line.
So F1, is it a sport?
Yeah.
Wow.
To a massive part of the world, it is.
For sure.
Isn't that so weird where it's like here,
Yeah, it's
like
just not.
it's just like, car racing just turned into like,
But people are getting into
Like
it
nobody
now,
cares.
which is crazy because it literally all just started from a good Netflix show.
Really?
Like
Yeah.
that could just like change the course of history.
What's the show?
Drive to Survive, I believe it's called.
Have you watched it?
No.
Oh, okay.
But every time I'm like, yeah, I'm not really into F1. Someone's just like, you have to watch Drive to Survive. I'm like, I just don't know if I want to be into F1.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you
I
don't
don't
want to
need
take
it.
the bait.
Yes, exactly.
oh,
Like
that
that-
means you're an athlete, fish.
What I say is like, I'm not saying it's not dope. Like it
Right.
probably is.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if I have time for it.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time getting attached to things that don't have a Colorado. Like if there was a Colorado F1 team, maybe I'd have a better chance.
What about Lewis Hamilton, who lives in Colorado and owns the Broncos?
He lives in Colorado.
He does not live in
He has a
Colorado.
house here.
Okay, he has a house in Colorado.
Okay.
He does,
Let
yeah.
me guess it's in Aspen.
Probably, yes. Will you say that to Sir Lewis Hamilton's face, Henry, that he's not an athlete?
Wow. I mean, only if I get to say everything. Like, I don't even think I count baseball players as athletes. Half of them, at least.
We need to start like pressing people a little harder in our interviews. So we're gonna have Lewis Hamilton in studio, and I'm just gonna be like, hey, Hank says you're not an athlete. Like, defend yourself.
Go get him.
And then he just beats the living hell out of Hank.
That would,
Wow.
I mean, definitely be our biggest, most viewed live ever.
By far. Jose in the chat saying, athlete, do you compete and can you win or lose? It's like Cake Boss.
Wait, so if RG was taking a picture of you with Alexis, is there any chance that his camera was rolling during the infamous hair fix?
I don't know if he was recording at all. I don't know when he was there, but I think he took a lot of pictures. Maybe.
Wow. This would have been our most viewed stream too if we had that footage.
I can't tell you how mortified I was.
Oh my God, that's incredible. I want to see it so bad.
I don't.
The comments would have been incredible.
I want to end on this note thinking about that. It makes me so happy. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Keep hitting us with thumbs up on YouTube. Also, 5-star reviews on iTunes. They mean the most. We'll talk to you guys later.